In many contents I do, mostly on the Italian side, I say that many people or many companies have requests about large language models that don't fit the purpose of such tool. In many occasions I said that you can dig a hole with a shovel but also with a drill, but you understand that a drill doesn't classify as the best tool to do the job unless you get paid by the hour by someone. In this video I want to see one case of misuse of large language models. Let's say you have a startup and you don't have a website. I saw many people out there that suggest large language models to build a website. Let's ask this type of large language model to build a website for us. I have a SaaS, please build me a website that includes HTML, CSS and JavaScript. My SaaS involves garden long cutting subscription, an unusual business model. Let's continue with the prompt, because if you just ask like this, it's better if you go on Google. Large language models work better if you provide them more context. The more, the better. I want an introductory introduction image, our services, why choose us, benefits, objections, reviews, social proof, get in touch in case of cuts. As pages, I want values, theme, the contact page, some blog, some articles. Let's try to see. You see, it takes a few seconds because I use a large language model that comes from a service that has speed as a benefit. If we go to artifacts that already opened on the side, you see that we have already our website. It is decent. Of course, you need to edit it. And you notice that, and this is something more noticeable if somebody comes from computer science or website development, that for each page we have this. And this is not something common, let's say. So yes, you have something that works. You see it also here. Of course, we didn't give them the image, but as I also said in other occasions, generative intelligence doesn't compete yet with standardized solutions. Here, standardized means something that existed more or less since 2010. WordPress, a service that allows you to create websites, so you don't have to reinvent the wheel like we did here. Here we used generative artificial intelligence to reinvent how we build websites. And notice that models don't tell you that. Instead, if you contact some people or agencies, they say, look, this request is almost nonsense. It is better if you use WordPress. Here, of course, we are inside WordPress. You see that I host it locally and I didn't have to reinvent the wheel. So, for example, for the graphics, here you would have to code it. Instead, on WordPress, again, this might sound obvious for some of you that see this video, but we go to Appearance, Themes, we have something already built, so something standardized that you can customize, and the problem is solved. Then we sell subscription. In this case, we have to implement in a, let's say, less straightforward way services like Stripe. On WordPress, easy. We go to plugins, we go to add new plugin, search for Stripe, and that's it. You install it with few clicks. Again, generative artificial intelligence for some tasks cost you more in terms of time and in some cases also in money. But this is another topic. Let's say I didn't know Stripe existed, like I didn't know websites are built like that, because that is important in the prompt, and I search for subscription. Again, plugins. Of course, some will have a free plan and at one point they'll ask you to pay, but you can solve many problems without generating stuff from zero, but reutilizing the solutions people already developed. That, of course, not always will match exactly your needs, but they will cover most of your needs. And I took the example of the website because more companies are more familiar with this solution than a statistical analysis, but for a statistical analysis it's the same. Create a dashboard for dummy CRM data and display it with Python. This is a very raw request, not technical at all, except the word dummy. That means fake. See, in this case, most likely we can't execute it because of this. In fact, you see that we have some problems. But if we say let's change it like that, because otherwise I can still run it, and this should work. Okay, so you see that we have some charts. And mind that I executed this without paying for GPT-4. Also, why it is so fast to produce this kind of output? Because, as I also mentioned in another video, I use this model that read like that, doesn't seem special, but I use it from Grok with the Q that doesn't execute the model stuff on a graphic card like I showed in another video, but on a new kind of hardware solution that for at least a couple of years will have prohibitive costs for small and medium-sized companies. We talk about 20 grand, so it is like 20 top-tier graphic cards of 2024 and 5. And you can recover this secret with Grok with the Q cloud website. It is very easy. I underline with the Q because with the K, Grok with the K, you end up finding another service of artificial intelligence that comes from Elon Musk. I also specify this because I did the mistake of confusing Grok with the Q with Grok with the K, because unfortunately the one with the K is more known, because of course when Elon Musk farts, half of the world get to know it in a matter of seconds. Here we are inside the Grok cloud. You see that I can create an API in 3 clicks, and if we go to settings we can also see the limits of those calls, because of course it is free, but since they also use expensive hardware, you understand that they can't give infinite requests for free. So in my case I have this amount per day that is more than enough, and those other limits. So technically with this service, in the day I record this video, you can do much. And with much I mean much more than simple chat stuff. You could also, for example, create a data pipeline. That is something mentioned again in another video. So you can, let's say, automate a lot of stuff in your company. But again, if it is free, it won't last like this forever. Let's go to see the usage. Here we see the cost that we don't have to worry since we are in the free plan, and limit. And here we have the activity. You see that we made like 15 requests just today, and the tokens are less than this amount So we are well below this value because this is per minute and this is per day. In this video, I think I made clear when to not use generative artificial intelligence. If you have in the back of your head an idea of application of generative AI for your company and you want to discuss it to avoid problems, we can do it in a first free call that you can book in the link you see in the description. Bye and see you the next time.